The Commanders' defense finally woke up right when we needed it the most. After weeks of getting called out as the team's weak spot, these guys rolled into California and schooled Justin Herbert. But that's not even the biggest story, because we've got a 7th-round rookie who's blowing up everyone's predictions and turning into the breakout star of the whole season. Sure, there were some heart-stopping moments when Herbert made us pay for our mistakes. But in the end, this defense proved they can make huge plays when it matters most. You better stick around, because this is history in the making. Let me be straight with you. After what we all saw these past few weeks, I was seriously worried about this defense. Remember that beating the Falcons put on us? The constant coverage breakdowns, the lack of any real pass rush, all of that flipped in Los Angeles and flipped when we needed it the most. You really think it's a coincidence this defense blew up right against Justin Herbert, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league? I'm here to tell you it's not a coincidence, it was necessity. This defense knew if they didn't show out against Herbert, we'd lose all our credibility as real contenders in the NFC. Let's talk real numbers. Herbert rolled into this game as the 3rd highest passing yards guy in the entire league. The dude's an absolute cannon, and everyone was acting like our secondary was about to be his personal playground. But guess what happened? We held him to just 166 passing yards. 166 yards. To put that in perspective, Herbert was averaging over 180 yards a game before he ran into us. But here's what's really insane. Pro Football Focus reported we generated 20 pressures on Herbert during the game, along with 4 sacks. 20 pressures, folks. After looking like a team with 0 pass rush last week, we came out and chased down one of the toughest quarterbacks to sack in the whole NFL. And here's the true game changer, Quan Martin. This safety comes out nowhere and rips the ball from Quinton Johnston when the Chargers were about to go up 17-0. Can you even picture that? Down 17-0 on the road, and pretty much the game would have been over. But Martin makes that play. Marshon Lattimore scoops up the ball, and suddenly the entire vibe shifts our direction. Let me ask you this. How many times this season have we actually seen our defense force a turnover in a key moment? The answer is 0 right up until that point. In fact, that forced fumble was part of the very first game with multiple turnovers since Week 10 last season. Week 10 last year. That's straight up unacceptable for any defense that wants to be taken seriously. But that's not even where the story stops. The Chargers are down 20-10. They've got the ball in the red zone, and Herbert's about to fire off a pass that would have put us in real trouble. What happens? Johnny Newton, the rookie, jumps up, puts those huge arms in the way, and tips the pass straight into Mike Sainristil's hands for the interception. That's Burgundy and Gold, baby. To turnovers at absolutely critical times. That's what divides just okay defenses from championship defenses. And let's be real, this defense still has things to clean up. Zone coverage is still shaky, tackling needs work. But when the game was on the line and Herbert thought he was about to do us, like he does everyone else, this defense said no. Joe Witt Jr., our defensive coordinator, finally cracked the code. 20 pressures don't just happen by accident. It means the schemes were locked in, the guys executed. And for once, we're finally using all this talent the right way. Because let's be honest, the talent has always been there. What we missed was execution at the biggest moments, and against the Chargers, we got it. And the best part, this could be the spark that lights up this defense for the rest of the season. These dudes know they can do it now. They know they can clamp an elite quarterback, know they can force turnovers, know they can be the difference between winning and losing. If you think that was wild, hold up. Because now we gotta talk about Adam Peters' absolute draft heist. Remember when we picked Jacory Krosky-Merritt in the 7th round, picked 145? Bet half of you didn't even know who that was on draft day. Let me tell you right now, that kid is about to become the most exciting offensive weapon on this whole team. Let's lay it all out. Pick 245, 7th round. That's literally the bottom of the barrel in the draft. Most guys picked there don't even make the 53-man roster, much less become key pieces their rookie year. But you know who else was a 7th rounder that everyone slept on? Brock Purdy. And guess who had a hand in that organization? Adam Peters. Now, I'm not saying Krosky-Merritt is the next Brock Purdy, but what I am saying is Peters has a knack for finding unreal talent late in the draft. And this kid, Bill as his teammates call him, is turning out to be exactly that, a diamond in the rough against the Chargers. Cliff Kingsbury finally handed the rock over for real to Krosky-Merritt. And dude absolutely went off. This rookie runs with a decisiveness and intensity we haven't seen from a Commanders running back in years. No wasted motion, no dancing in the backfield. Just hits the holes with an explosiveness that'll leave you breathless. And that touchdown he ripped off to get us back in the game. Let me paint the picture. The kid gets the handoff, sees daylight on the edge, and just hits the Jets outside so fast the Chargers defenders got left eating dust. That's not luck, that's pure talent mixed with flawless technique. But you know what blows me away about Krosky Merritt? His contact balance. This dude can take a shot from a linebacker and still drag the pile for extra yards. In today's NFL, where every yard matters, that skill is absolutely priceless. He's not the biggest, not the speediest, but the combo of speed, power, and vision is what keeps defensive coordinators up all night. So let me ask, when was the last time you saw a 7th-round rookie get this much buzz? Before mid-season? The answer is never, it just doesn't happen. 7th-rounders are supposed to be special teamers who, maybe, carve out a rotation spot after a couple years grinding on the practice squad. But Krosky Merritt tossed that script out the window. He came out from North Texas, not even a national name, and is putting on a clinic at the pro level. His story is the definition of the American dream, a guy the league ignored, slept on, passed over by 31 teams during the 104-4 picks. And now he's proving everyone wrong. The hype around this rookie is through the roof, honestly. The last time it was this high was, well, when we picked Jaden Daniels. That should tell you everything about his impact. The national analysts are talking, the fans are buying his jersey, and opposing defensive coordinators have to scheme just for this dude now. Kingsbury's using him smart, too, ramping up the workload, letting him grow without burning him out. But now we gotta ask, why isn't he the main back in this offense? From what we've seen, this kid deserves to be the featured back. And you know what's the craziest part? This is just the beginning. He's a rookie still learning the pro game, still building his full arsenal, and still growing his confidence. If this is Krosky Merritt at 60 or 70% of his ceiling, just imagine where he'll be once he hits his stride. But even all that doesn't compare to what almost blew the game for us in the first quarter, because we need to talk about those early mistakes and how Justin Herbert nearly buried us before we had a chance to respond. First Chargers drive. Joe Witt Jr. dials up a blitz on 3rd down, looking to catch Herbert and that banged-up offensive line off guard. On paper, it's the right call. The Chargers have been having major issues keeping Herbert clean all season, thanks to injuries up front. This was the perfect shot to attack. So what happened? Herbert, being the elite quarterback he is, sniffs out the blitz, slides out of the pocket easy as you please, and scrambles for a 41-yard gain. 41 yards in one play because we couldn't execute a blitz. I'm telling you, that kind of execution is just unacceptable when you're facing one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But it got worse. As soon as Herbert broke off that monster run, the Chargers fly right into the red zone. Our defense, trying to get it together, does a decent job holding them out of the end zone. Jeremy Reeves, the safety, even gets a hand on a pass in the end zone, forcing a 4th down field goal try. Here's where you'd think we dodged a bullet, right? Wrong. Mike Sainristil, the same corner who later grabbed that interception, jumps off sides right before Cameron Dicker tries a 29-yard field goal. The Chargers say no thanks to 3 points, take the penalty instead, get a fresh set of downs, and to plays later, Herbert connects with Ladd McConkey for a 2-yard touchdown. Do you get how massive that mistake was? We turned a pretty solid red zone stop, which would have just been 3 points, into a full 7-point touchdown on a penalty that never needed to happen. That's a 4-point swing for an absolutely avoidable slip-up. Let me ask you, how much longer are we gonna keep handing out free points with dumb penalties? Because this is nothing new. Last week against the Falcons, those flags killed us. And here we are again, out on the road, just handing a playoff team an easy touchdown because someone couldn't hold their water for 2 more seconds. That was the first touchdown we'd given up on an opening drive all season. Read that again. First time in 5 weeks a team's gotten into our end zone on their opening try. And not because Herbert made some impossible play or the Chargers schemed up something wild. Now we shot ourselves in the foot with basic execution mistakes. Herbert ran a drive of 9 plays and 76 yards that ended in 7 points. And we basically laid out the red carpet. When you blitz and can't finish, when you pick up penalties in key situations, when you let a quarterback like Herbert have extra chances, you're gonna pay for it. but despite those brutal early mistakes, the defense managed to regroup. And that, my friends, is what separates good teams from great ones. Good teams fold after those early setbacks. Great teams bounce back, adjust, and find a way to win anyway. Joe Witt Jr. made those sideline adjustments after that first drive. The guys executed way better. Flags dropped off. And when it was all said and done, even after that rough start, we managed to hold Herbert in check and win the game. But don't kid yourselves, if we pull that same stunt against teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, or Niners, we are not getting away with it. The elite squads don't give you second chances. They punish every single mistake hard. The lesson is clear. Discipline matters. Execution matters. If you keep giving away free yards and points on boneheaded penalties, you're not winning in the NFL for long. We got lucky our defense bounced back against the Chargers, but that luck runs out real quick if we don't tighten up the basics. So let's run it back. A defense that finally showed up the moment we needed it. A 7th-round rookie rewriting expectations. And some early mistakes that almost sunk us, but we powered through. Here's what I want to know. 1. Do you think this defensive showing against Herbert is something we can keep doing? Or was it just a one-off? 2. Is Jacory Krosky-Merritt ready to be the main back in this offense? Or does he still need more time to develop? And 3. How much longer can we keep racking up killer penalties before it bites us in a game we just can't afford to lose? Drop your takes in the comments, because I need to know what Burgundy and Gold Nation is thinking on this. And if you agree this defense is finally starting to find itself, hit the like button on this video. If you think Krosky-Merritt deserves to get more touches, subscribe to the channel for even deeper Commanders coverage, because here, we're not just a news channel, we're family. A family that's been through years of heartbreak together, celebrated every small win, and is ready for a return to greatness. If you feel that same passion, if you live and breathe Burgundy and Gold like I do, then you gotta be a part of this crew. I'll see you all tomorrow for more explosive breakdowns, because I guarantee there's gonna be even more news to break down. This season's just getting spicy, and you do not want to miss a single moment.